Hey gang, Jesse over here at EC Auto Repair. Going to talk to you about your check engine light. One of the most commonly asked questions that we get is, why is my check engine light on? So let me tell you a little story about how a check engine light works, first of all, to get started. So a check engine light is basically the babysitter at a daycare. And basically you got all these little kids or these little minions, as an example, running around, taking care of business, doing their thing, right? You got your fuel injectors, you got your spark plugs, you got your ignition coils, you got your air system, you got all of the different things that make the car work, right? And so what will happen is the computer on the car, the engine control module, is actually monitoring all these different systems all the time. Your fuel system, your air system, and your oil system, all the different things, right? And so as it begins to notice that one of the systems begins to have an issue, it will take notice of that. For instance, say we got a spark plug that's not firing when it's supposed to, it'll take notice of that. If it catches that spark plug not working as often as it should, then it will actually illuminate the check engine light, which is obviously saying, look, we've got something going on here. I've been watching it. I told it to be good. It decided to not be good, and it continues to be bad. Therefore, I'm putting it in timeout. I'm illuminating the check engine light, letting you know that this thing is in timeout or it needs attention. That's basically the simplest way I know how to explain a check engine light. What we then do is we will hook up a scanner to it, to the OBD2 port. The OBD2 port is generally underneath the steering wheel somewhere under the dash. It plugs in with a connector. I've got this scanner plugged in. This is a Snap-on Triton D8 scanner. This is one of our high-level scanners. It doesn't just tell us what the codes are. We're able to measure fuel trims. We're able to measure compression. We're able to measure all kinds of different things with this scanner. On the converse, we've got a dongle that actually hooks up to an app on a phone. So this dongle here costs, 30 to 80 bucks. You can buy them on Amazon for fairly cheap. And basically it plugs in, and really all this one does is it tells you what the code is. Like you might have a P0420 or P0303 or something like that, and it's going to tell you that code. Just because you have that code doesn't mean that that's actually the problem. What that means is that is the system that's affected. There could have to be some more tests and different things like that. So I have another scanner here. This is a Zurich ZR13S. So this is more of this scanner here is about 250, 300 bucks scanner, right? You're able to do some more isolated tests with this when you're able to capture some live data. But here we got one that's 100 bucks or less. Here we got one that's $200 or $300. And then this one here, it actually has monthly updates that come with it so that it can stay current with the latest downloads from the dealerships, as well as the latest technical information from the factories. Comes with a monthly subscription. So this tool here, it's going to cost anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000 depending on which model you get, plus a monthly subscription fee. So lots of times people will come to us and they'll have a code printout, like I went to O'Reilly's or I went to AutoZone or I went to whichever parts house, and hey, they told me that I needed an oxygen sensor. Guess what? They plugged into it with a scanner that cost less than 100 bucks so that they could sell you a part that you may or may not need. Just because they tell you it needs an oxygen sensor does not mean it needs an oxygen sensor. There is so many other components in that system, but the oxygen sensor could be the one that's screaming the loudest that, hey, I need attention. Sometimes those codes have to be resolved before the other less pertinent codes can be resolved. But this scanner here, we're going to go in, we're going to look at some fuel trims. We're going to go in and look at our miscounts on our spark plugs. How many times did they not fire? There's all kinds of different data that my trained technicians will look at to be able to determine, does that car really need an oxygen sensor, or is it just learning that there's something wrong and the oxygen sensor is the one that's screaming the loudest saying, hey, we need attention. That's a little bit about how your check engine light works. I trust this video was helpful. Click like, click subscribe, and I will see you
in the next video.